joining us at the 8th edition of the Eastern Himalayan Naturenomics Forum. Your experience and vision for the Eastern Himalayas has always helped us understand the diversity of need for both ecology and people. And with this, may I now request you to present your talk on Eastern Himalayas stock of natural assets and how preserving the Eastern Himalayas and their natural resources is the way forward. Over to you, Dietrich.
Thank you very much for the invitation to talk at the Eastern Himalayan Forum, this time from Germany. Unusual experience, but I think we'll manage. And I'm very happy to give a short presentation today on a study that we recently completed and which bears relevance to the work of Balipara in the Eastern Himalayas. We, that is a group of researchers at the National University of Singapore, and myself. And the research that we've done relates to forests, and that is the type of asset or natural resource that I feel most competent about, and which I think is also very important for the Eastern Himalayas. And our study was, well, not limited to the Eastern Himalayas, but it was a study on forest cover dynamics of the entire Himalayas. So it was a study in how forests have developed over a period of 1984 until today, in terms of loss of forest cover, but also in terms of gain of forest cover. Because of course we are losing forests to timber extraction, to agricultural expansion, but we gain also forests due to reforestation activities of forest departments, but also of civil society groups or of communities in the context of joint forest management. So, I mean, the purpose of the study was, first of all, to identify the drivers that lie behind these dynamics. What is responsible for forests being lost? And what actually are the factors behind forests being gained? And in the end, we came up with about 4 areas where we see the need of policies to address issues, so that the forest dynamics can be influenced in a positive way, more in the direction of gaining forest cover instead of losing forest cover. And I think some of these relate really to core areas of what Balipara Foundation is doing in the Eastern Himalayas. So I'll just briefly present these 5 thematic areas. The first is stabilizing or enhancing agricultural productivity, because we found that one of the major drivers of forest loss is expansion of agriculture into forest areas. That can be related to poverty, and that can be related also to other economic needs. So the close link between agriculture and forest, that is also very much at the core of rural development initiatives of the Balipara Foundation, is, let's say, the priority area that we think should be addressed. And another major thematic areas is energy use all over the Himalayas, and of course also in the Eastern Himalaya. Fuel wood is a very important source of firewood, and so for extraction of firewood, fuel wood has come out of our research as another major issue. So that needs to be addressed, and one possibility of addressing is, one recommendation that we are coming up with is maybe establishing fuel wood plantations on degraded land. Now, there's a lot of degraded land, fallow land, that can be used for purposes that could be a good purpose in order to reduce pressure on forests. Tourism is, well, of course, I mean, at the moment, it's totally on the ground, not because of COVID-19. It will revive, and it can be a massive force for improving the forest conditions, because also through the interest of tourists, communities may recognize the value of preserving forests. And so leveraging tourism and is an area where I also felt policies can have a positive influence. And then, of course, strengthening forest management institutions. I just recently wrote a paper on community-based forest management, and all of it started in India, with social forestry, with joint forest management. So there's already quite a great tradition, but still possibility of enhancing. And then, of course, and that's a core concern of Balipara Foundation, conservation of native biodiversity. That's basically how you started out with the Eastern Himalayan Arc. And so I think, I mean, what we kind of established through our literature survey really confirms a lot of the thematic areas that Balipara has already sort of selected. And this just actually confirming or maybe ranking in order to, to help you with the prioritization of your work. I think that's about as much as I wanted to say. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.